Justice Soa to forward attorney general ne judgment no or throw we say constitution no and yet just text to send it that way you are why
me them is so honorable kawasem
first year kawasem a living organism capable of growth into no constitution no it will say any and you say attract one and one no so if the president thinks that the term limit no Ghana obey to meet the constitution now call parliament say parliament me feel say Ghana no I say you term limit free so udi 100 terms kwana ko fon so mpewa also what transport development eyamra da ho enye jo Mahama de share sa amra no
hwe sa term o said here no it won't happen in Ghana, trust me. It will not Ghana ye ne abie dodo sa kwase asem we won't do it ye rajo mama he doesn't even think about that.
Hello, keep watching Xposed GH, the best channel on all of YouTube. Yes.
Hello, baby. I will be able to check a CMO. Edini the Bambros, I Xposed GH. Subscribe, share, yedi two man will sack me. A plus a parliament, but Ninsem be a okay cano as if say he doesn't really know what he's doing. Nancy Obeka Assembly and then for me, I see that very senseless. Say, Yera John Hammer or Petetem, Yera John Hammer on cast of Petetem. He just want to build Ghana. That's it. And A plus in Nanuko so even parliament can pass that bill. No po Otchery, Metro TV, or schoolino in law. Yes. Or say you are a law student or no wakolo nevi.
So there's a trending conversation about constitutional amendments, and our friend Kwame A Plus contributed to it on a UTV. He said something about the constitutional amendment in terms of this conversation about does President Mahama want to do a third term, etc. There are conversations about it, and A Plus spoke about it on UTV. As a member of parliament, of course, we take him very seriously. This is what he said. Let's listen.
Justice Soa to forward attorney general ne judgment no or throw we say constitution no and yet just text to send it that way you are why
me them is so honorable kawasem
first year kawasem a living organism capable of growth into no constitution no it will say any and you say attract one and one no so if the president thinks that the term limit no Ghana obey to meet the constitution now call parliament say parliament me feel say Ghana no I say you term limit free so udi 100 terms kwana ko fon so mpewa also what transport development eyamra da ho enye jo Mahama de share sa amra no
but for now dear
no jo Mahama on meka sa ba me pese ade no ko obi atrim say nya ye dede say jo Mahama petete omo ye lawyer for omo nim ni amra ne ka emra ne say jo Mahama feel so pese o tena so bi mu a on famra parliament obo betu yen wo ho yen ne ebehwe ade no aka say okay emra no ampa ya change mra na yen say wudi president obetumi edi akụ ise ubewu ana say say kwa yen to aba wo Ghana ye betumi akọ parliament aye mra say Ghana kwa yen to abebiu.
I think that he forgot a few things we just want to add. Kwame, how are you? I'm saying we refi near maybe or somehow kind of ukasa ye but we refi near maybe into my fan shame my why. Let's get on to the touch screen and understand. So the point he's making is that the president can take the constitution to parliament and ask for an amendment. That's not quite true. Okay. So he's claiming that the president's term limits can be amended in parliament. Is it true? The verdict is no, it's not true. Why is it not true? Presidential term limits are governed by Article 66 of the Constitution, which provides as follows. 66.2, and viewers, you can read it yourself. Article 66.2. It says, a person shall not be elected to hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms. So that's the article that we are talking about, being amended and not being amended and all of that. So the issue is 2 terms. Does it mean consecutive 2 terms? Does it mean 1 term here, 1 term there? So that those who think that President Mahama can do a 3rd term, they are saying that this article doesn't say that it is 2. This article means 2 consecutive terms. If he hasn't done 2 consecutive terms and he did 1 term, somebody came in, he did another term, somebody came in, he can do another term. That those who are limited to 2 terms are those who are doing 2 consecutive. That's one after the other straight away, 8 years straight. And it is them that this limitation is imposed upon. Let's read it again. A person shall not be elected to hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms. Now, Article 66 is within Chapter 8 of the Constitution, which is a chapter that is entrenched. And that's where A Plus left a few things out. This article is entrenched. And so Parliament, I'm sorry to say, viewers, Parliament, including all their 276 members, have nothing to do with changing this. So if he says the president can bring it to Parliament, that's not quite true. Parliament, I'm saying it again, Parliament has nothing to do with amending Article 66. Nothing. In terms of the MPs voting, their decision making, no. Parliament is just a platform. The MPs don't have any role to play, whether they will vote, they will look at it. It has nothing to do with it. Let's see why it is so. Okay. What are entrenched clauses? These are provisions that contain elaborate measures which include popular participation, etc., etc. So entrenched clauses, they are not amended by Parliament. Parliament has no role to play in it. Who then have a role to play in it? Let's look at it again. All right. So these are some of the examples of entrenched clauses. Article 1, Article 2, 3, territories of Ghana. Article 11, the fundamental human rights. Article 5, representation of the people. Article 42, 43, 46, etc. The executive, chapter 8, that's where the President Mahama and the A+ conversation is. And then the legislature, Article 93. Okay. Now, all of those articles that are entrenched, including the presidential term limits, they are dealt with by Article 290. 290. So let's look at it. Okay, Article 290. Now, this is the important thing, viewers. Let's take it slowly. 1 minute, I'll finish. A bill for the amendment of an entrenched provision shall, before Parliament proceeds to consider it, be referred by the Speaker to the Council of State. So a bill, so you have to send a bill to Parliament, and usually the bill will be in the name of the Attorney General. Such a bill, constitutional amendment, will be in the name of the Attorney General. So the Attorney General takes a bill. So a bill for the amendment of entrenched provisions shall, before Parliament proceeds to consider it, be referred by the Speaker to the Council of State for advice. And the Council of State shall render advice within 30 days of the receipt of the bill. So viewers, you are getting it. Council of State has the first role to play. With Council of State members, they will look at it, their intention to amend an entrenched provision, which is contained in the bill. Council of State will look at it. Parliament doesn't look at it. MPs have no role to play in it. So please tell Kwame that he has absolutely no role to play in a constitutional amendment of an entrenched provision. So Council of State will look at it first. When they've finished, it comes here. The bill shall be published in the Gazette, but shall not be introduced into Parliament until the expiry of 6 months after the publication in the Gazette. So the next thing is that when Council of State have looked at it and they think that the advice on it, they are giving it a positive green light, Council of State can give some different advice. But if they give a positive green light, then it is published in the Gazette. Let's see what happens next. After the bill has been read the first time in Parliament, it shall not be proceeded with further unless it has been submitted to a referendum held throughout Ghana and at least 40% of the persons entitled to vote voted at the referendum, and at least 75% of the persons who voted cast their vote in favor of the passing of the bill. Where the bill is approved at the referendum, Parliament shall pass it. So viewers, we get the steps. Council of States will look at it. Then it comes to be gazetted. After it's gazetted, it's laid in Parliament. When a bill is laid in Parliament, there's no conversation. In fact, the thing says that it shall not be proceeded further with. The order here is that when it's laid, Parliament should do nothing about it. They should just send it straight to the referendum through the Electoral Commission process. When it gets to the referendum and you're looking for an amendment of Article 66, you have to be sure that if the voters register is 10 million people, 40% turn up to vote. At least 40%, it could be more. So 4 million people turn up to vote. Of the 4 million people who turn up to vote, 75% must vote for the bill. So if 8 million people turn up to vote, 75% of 8 million must vote for the bill. If 7 million people turn up to vote, 75% of 7 million must vote for the bill. This is the law. This is what it says. So it's not that the president can take the constitution, take it to Parliament to amend for Parliament to look at it. Members of Parliament have absolutely no role to play in a constitutional amendment process. Kwame, so that's okay. We love our MPs. We need to rely on them. But sometimes when they are doing public education, they need to do it right. So that's the end of our story on this one. Constitutional amendments. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this going forward for many, many years, many months, I should say, because there's an edge. Some people want to look at it. And it's a part of our constitution that we may have to test. The other way, there's another way. The other way is to go to the Supreme Court and ask the Supreme Court for an interpretation of Article 66. And the Supreme Court may interpret Article 66 to mean that somebody can do a third term or somebody cannot do a third term. So you can use the Supreme Court's route. So that's also available, and we are looking at it and checking out. I hear that some people are even preparing right now to take a matter to the Supreme Court, asking for a declaration that on a true and proper interpretation of Article 66, an individual cannot do more than 3 terms in whatever circumstance, cannot do more than 2 terms in whatever circumstance. I don't know where that bill is, but I think they are taking it to the Supreme Court. So that's our story for today.
Yeah, Paul, ama explicit explanation, mama explanation, papa. Sure, that third term was said, no, it won't happen in Ghana. Trust me, it will not. It will not. Ghana, you near beautiful. Some question we won't do it. Yeah, Mama, he doesn't even think about that. Sir, you're more 20 years. Not sabi ubet me Ghana year obey. You're more 1 year. Ubet me Ghana year obey. It's not about the number of terms. Maybe I can be say. Yeah, semi. Our Ghana for 1 year, Ghana will change. Me can not for again saying ya make no a way. 1 year, no 1 year. Don't Mahama buy. Look at the fuel. Look at fuel. It takes very little for Ghanaians to appreciate you. So you don't need long term to do anything. We need just brain. I want to do this. What is happening in Ghana is not like your friend is saying, dollar be air follow. The dollar is even rising on the international markets. What is happening is that Ghana's currency is being backed by gold. And first, yes, and the gold board never no. No tosikano. Foreign and now betono. You need to go and change what in cedis to come and buy the gold. Now the dollar is changing the cedi, not the other way around. That is how to run a country. How long Mahama. It's about the impact that you make in this final term. That's how I term it. It's A plus, but instead of trying to be wise and you are not, and trying to say things that you don't know, no. Let's encourage Yerajo to do the things which are necessary to transform Ghana. It's not about the term. We all know say even the second terms are non-status. The second term, Ghana, and all that. We don't need that. We put the over 4 years. We need to do that for people to know. Say it's time to change. It's not about the number of terms that people are saying. I don't really care. I suppose from members. Subscribe, share me to my now. Saka with Manuel.
Keep watching Xposed GH, the best channel on all of YouTube. Yes.